Hi all, this is Bharat. I am the instructor for this Power Automate course. So let's start exploring this Power Automate. Power Automate is developed by Microsoft. It's previously known as MS Flow. Its basic aim is to develop workflows and automate tasks. Some are repetitive tasks will be there and some are scheduled tasks are there. These things can be easily done with Power Automate. So previously Microsoft is having a tool on premises known as SharePoint Designer. It is used to create workflows for the Microsoft SharePoint. So SharePoint Designer is the inspiration behind this Power Automate. And one of the great things about Power Automate is that they can automate business processes and tasks inside the SharePoint environment. It is a part of Office 365 and it is also the part of Power Platform. So here I'm explaining one real-time example so which can be automated using Power Automate. So here a request is raised by employee for his vacation. So when it is a start approval and it will check whether the vacation days selected by the employee is greater than 7. If it is greater than 7 s, it will be rejected by the approver. So and a email will be sent to the requester. So if vacation days is not greater than 7, so it will be approved by the supervisor and an email will be sent to requester. And again there will be second level uh, flow will be automated. So in the second level they will check whether the team buffer is available. Okay, if it is available, the it will be approved by the manager and sent in email. If the team buffer is not available, team buffer means the number of team members to do the tasks. So if the team is sufficient to do the task, so the employee who is raised the request who belongs to team will get approval, and if a team buffer is not available, he will be reject this request will be rejected by the manager and a rejected email will be sent. This flow can be easily achieved by the Power Automate within minutes. No need of writing any code. Okay, just adding the steps, connecting some connectors available. So we can create this flow in different ways. We can start from blank and you can see here automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, scheduled cloud flow, desktop flow, business process flow. Many are there to create the flow here from the blank. So if you want to create the flow from the template, you can also use the templates available in the Microsoft Power Automate. So you can pick up from one of these categories and you can create the flow. And you can also start the flow from a connector. Suppose if you want to create anything for the SharePoint, you can pick up the SharePoint and you can check what are the actions and triggers available there. Okay, so what are the basic things to learn in Power Automate to become expert or to become confident in building the workflows? Okay, so there are few things to learn here. We can say like first we need to learn about the triggers, actions, connectors, and how to share and deploy these and templates. These are the things if we can learn in Power Automate, we can create many flows with confidence and deploy them to the customers. Okay, so let's get started now. And one more thing I want to say that Microsoft has given different types of designations that who are working on this Power Automate. First one is app maker. If you want to quickly create custom business apps without writing code, so you can write an exam for this as an app maker and get certified with Microsoft. And also if you are uh, keeping the systems and data flowing provisioned and secured round the clock, you can be called as a Power Automate administrator. And if you're writing code to integrate with other data sources, extending core system functionality, or build a complex application, you can be known as developer, Power Automate developer. And if you are implementing an implementation expert for a business domain, you can be called as a functional consultant with Power Automate. And if you're responsible for helping your customers buy the right solution with Power Automate, so you can be called as partner pre-sales roles in the Power Automate. So this is the basic introduction of Power Automate. Let's start with the real-time learning of this Power Automate. Thank you for watching the introduction. So trigger is a basic component of Power Automate flow. So trigger is also the starting point of the flow. It's an event that actually starts the flow. It's the first step, we can say. Okay, so we can choose the trigger based upon our requirement. Suppose if you want an instant trigger, we can also have that, or if you want to have a manual, uh, we can have that. And if you want to schedule few flows, say suppose if you want to schedule a flow for birthday wishes at every day at 12 a.m. so that it will trigger a flow and check whose birthday is available. So for those kind of requirements we can use schedule flows. Okay, and also we can have automated workflows for the triggers. Suppose if you want to create, suppose if you create any trigger, like say if you want to create an item in SharePoint, so and the next events need to happen, we can make use of these automated triggers here. And in the triggers we can also give some conditions, so that based upon these conditions it will trigger. And we can also secure the inputs or outputs of the trigger. Okay, let's see here some of these. So this is a SharePoint trigger when an item is created. You can see here, uh, if you click these three dots, you can see settings, speed code, delete, etc. So the speed code is for JSON. Settings, we can have options like this. In that, one of the options is concurrency control. So this will limit number of concurrent runs of the flow, or leave it off to run as many as possible at the same time. So this will helpful in workflows, approval workflows. Okay, and also you can see here trigger conditions. As I told you before, these trigger conditions will help you to trigger the flow. So for this we need to know expressions, so we will explore these expressions in the coming classes. Okay, and here there is an option to secure inputs of the operation and secure outputs, so that if you enable those you cannot see the JSON of that particular trigger. Okay, and you can also see the retry policy. If trigger fail, it will keep on retrying it, and you can give here default, fixed interval, and exponential interval, these things. Okay, now let's go to the Power Automate landing page and check there. So now I'm into the uh, here Power Automate landing page. Here you can see how you can start your flow, automated flow, instance, schedule, all these things. Okay, anyways, we will go and create from the scratch. Create, and I will take instant cloud. Okay, now you can see here uh, all built in. You can see here a flow button manually trigger a flow. If I click this is one kind of a trigger. If you go and check these three dots, you can see settings, we could already we discussed whatever, and here we can give the input. Okay, this is one kind of trigger manually to trigger. Okay, suppose if you want to schedule, here schedule a trigger, here you can write recurrence, check schedule, here you can see trigger, and this will schedule every day at some time, here weekly, month, hourly, minute. Okay, so this is one kind of schedule trigger, and you can also see settings for this as we discussed previously. Concurrency control, trigger actions, we can write the expressions here, and also you can peek code, you can see the JSON code of this. Okay, and suppose if you go to settings, and you can also track ID for this run, for split on this track ID is for the initiating request. Okay, we can also give here tracking ID, and let's go and check another trigger. Say suppose we have SharePoint. So SharePoint is having many triggers here: when an item is created, when for a selected file, for selected item. So those things are there. So select one trigger from the SharePoint. Here I selected when an item is created, and here you can see uh, settings, add note, all these are some of the general things for any action or any trigger. Okay, I'm going to the settings here, and I can see a lot of options, and here let me show you. If I go to peak code, I can see the JSON code here. So if you want to secure that code, you can go here settings, and let me uh, secure these inputs and outputs of this. Okay, so if I click done, this is showing as locked. So this means our inputs and outputs for this trigger is enabled here. If you go to peak code, here there will be an option maybe to check anything is there. So related to this secure outs, nothing is there here, but okay. But you will see a option here, lock symbol. Okay, this means this is secure. Okay, and you can also have many uh, triggers. Say suppose if you want to have a trigger for the Gmail, go to Gmail, and you can see there is one trigger available when a Gmail, when a new email arrives. Go here and check here settings. You can also see all these same settings available. So these are simple building blocks for the Power Automate. Okay. So just like every programming language is having variables, in Power Automate also we have variables here, and they are used to store and retrieve values in the workflow process. Okay, so these variables must be declared after the trigger. Say suppose we have a trigger with the name recurrence trigger is there. So we already know that only one trigger is possible within the flow. So right after the trigger we need to declare these variables. Okay, so that will be the starting point of the variables. and these variables limit is 250. Okay, so the Microsoft is giving only a limit here so that we can use only 250 variables per flow here. And what is the difference? There are different variable data types, let's say integer, float, boolean, string, and array and object. So we can perform few tasks using this: increment, decrement, set value, append value, all these tasks with the variables. Okay, so while using these variables in the flow, we must take the variable name, not the step name. Step name means while creating the workflow, we will create a new step, right? It will have a name. So here we must use only variable name, not the step name. Okay, and coming to this in the flow, if you see, if you type variable, you can see all the actions related to this variable, say increment variables, set variables, append to array variable, all this like that. On the right side you can see I have initialized a integer variable with the name count, and we can give the value as 0 or we can keep it blank. Okay, and for every step or every action, there is a JSON involved in Power Automate. If you see the JSON for the variables, this is for the string variable. You can see name, type, value, and value will be the sample text. And for the boolean value, the value will be the false. For array with integers, value is 1 2 3 in between in the square brackets. And for the array with the strings, we can see the names will be in the double quotes, and again all this will be in the square brackets. Okay, let's see now in the flow how these variables will work. Go to my flow and create a flow here. I'm checking here automated cloud flow, so I'm skipping here this, and I take a manually trigger a flow, and in the new step I will check variables. I will declare a variable. We already know that after the trigger we need to declare variables, right? So here if I click variable, you can see all the actions here. Okay, so first deal with the integer variable. Okay, so let's take increment or initialize variable here first and name it as count and type integer, and the value I can initialize here with some like 5. Okay, so next I'm saving this one, and let's test it first, manually test it, and click here. Okay, it's taking some time. You can test manually or you can invoke. Let's see here something like its run flow is successful. Now what she initialize variable, and we can see this count and the value is 5 here. Now so go here now and go to the new step here. And what shall we do here? Variables. In the append to string variable, since we are using the count as a number, we can go here and check increment variable. So now I want to increment this variable count by 10. Okay, the value is 5. If I increment this count variable with 10, the output will be 15. Let's see whether the output will come as 15 or not. I'm testing it again, test it and run it. Done. And you can see here the output value 15 came. Okay, it's just like working with like a programming language. And now let's see, can I set a variable here, set a value to a variable. You can click variable here and set variable. So here name count, I am setting the value as 200. Okay, so what it will do, the set variable will erase the first value of the variables, and it will directly set this value to 200 here. Let's test it, manually save and run. Done. And let's see the output set variable. The variable count will be now 200. Okay, this is the latest value. So, okay, like this we can make use of these uh, integer variables. And suppose now if I want to decrement this, so go to these variables and decrement variable. I want to decrement this count by 100. Okay, so the output must be 100 now, because it is already 200, and now we are decrementing this variable, so the output must be 100 now. So test it, run. Done. Okay, now let's check the output, decrement variable, and you can see it's decremented. 200 is decremented by 100 and the output is 100 now. So like this we can use the variables. And now let's check with the string variables, and we can initialize a variable with the name, employee name. Okay, and here I'm taking it as string, and the value will be something we can write like this, Bharat. Okay, so and this initialize variable is like this. And if we can also have variables, and you can see append to string variable. Append means just it will add something to this string variable. So now emp name, and here you can add something like this, surname ch, and let's see whether it will work or not. Test, save, run. Done. And now first check the initialize variable, string variable is Bharat, and append to string variable. So we need to append this ch to this say this value Bharat. So to check the output whether, so now completely we need to know the emp name. So go to here, there is a one action compose. In the compose you give the name of the variable here. So name of the variable emp name, and it will be appended with the uh, latest value here ch, and it will show the output as Bharat ch now. Let's run. Done. And you can see compose, you can see it is appended with the Bharat ch. Okay, and like this it will work, this. Okay, now just let's check with the array variable now. Variables, and in the variables let's go and see initialize variable, and initialize variable I create my array, and here the type I will select as array, and in the variables I will give value as 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, and I will save this. And now in the next step I will create append. So here we are just adding a new array variable to the present one. So select the array variable name here, and in the value we just give here say here it's already having 0 1 2 3, right? Here you give 4. Okay, save it now and test it once, how these variables, array variables will look. So here we have given the array variables 0 1 2 3, append to array variable here my array, and now let's see the output my array, how this output will come. So use compose to check that. Compose, and here give the my array, save it and test, and this array 0 1 2 3 will be appended with 4. Okay, now if you check the output you can see 0 1 2 3 4, the output came. So like this my array is appended with the new array value. Okay, like this the array variables will work. And now check with the another variable type object. So where is this initialize variable, and here uh, you can give actually an object is collection of few properties, right? So emp details, and here I'm selecting object, and here let's add some JSON. So like this emp name Bharat. Here you can write emp skills SharePoint emp id. You can give like this a123. Okay, this is my object with type and property. So let's save it and enter valid JSON. So maybe we have something mistake in this JSON. Okay, we forgot to add this double quotes. Okay, now save it and let's test it, and let's see how it's come here now. Okay, now we can see here initialize variable, we can see emp name value emp skills, it's coming like this value, if we can read this value we can get the individual properties here. So this is kind of an object, right? So let's see we can iterate it, or how to get the each value, each property, any expression is there, or let's check with that. Go to compose, and to get the individual values from this emp details, we can try to make use of say suppose if you keep like this, there is variables of my array, right? For every, so here also if we give here the emp details here, suppose it's showing, if I hover on that particular dynamic value, variables of emp details. Now from the variables of emp details we need only the emp name, right? So to get that individual value, we need to make use of these expressions, I think. So now click here, add an expression, controls. Okay, so here we can add all these variables, and actually what we will do is first in the next class we will check how to get that individual properties using expressions. Okay, now let's explore on using anything other than this. Say suppose uh, we can create any kind of apply to each and condition control and check whether the individual will come or not. Apply to each, right? Let's check with that. In the new step, control, here apply to each. So in the apply to each, it is asking the output from the previous step. So I will give here nothing is there, it's not coming anything, right? So only we need to add first here, add an action in the compose. We can add this emp details. Okay, now in the apply to each we can give compose 3 outputs and apply to each, and after that let's check. We can add that to any kind of we can set, or we can send an email, something like that. Send an email to get the each and individual value here. So let's see whether we can get that value or not. First of all, see here we cannot apply to each, current item is there here. Okay, so here test emails with variables, and now let's save it and test it now. It's asking run flow, done. Flow failed. Okay, the execution of template action apply to each failed. The result of the evaluation for each expression outputs is of type object. The result may be valid array. Okay, valid array. So that's why here this select an output from each it's failing because maybe because of that array variable. It is treating like here object, but it will here we need to pass a array object, it seems. Sometimes it will work like that, and okay for that. So one more time we will run it and check what is the exact problem here. See here the execution of template action. So here we got the exact error. The execution template action result of the evaluation of for each expression at outputs composed of 3 is of type object. The result must be a valid array. Okay, so that's why we can't take here the current item here, it seems. Suppose if I type test here and if I give here emp outputs, I'm not able to give anything here individually. Now this can be done with say if I give directly output here and check in the email and see how that it will come for us, and it is running flow, done, and see it's also same problem is coming. So to deal with these individual properties, we can't use this. So we need to write an expression. Say suppose this is like variables of emp details, right? So here I will check these variables of emp details, and here you can write like this question mark, and in the square brackets you can write individual properties like emp emp skills. Let's check this is the emp skills is in capital letters. Okay, and now save it, and in the compose tree the emp skills SharePoint must come. Test it now. Done. Now it ran successfully, and in the compose tree we can see here SharePoint skill came. So to get that individual values we have written expression. We will see expressions in the next coming lesson. Okay, so here we have given this one. Okay, right? So like this we can make use of the variables in the Power Automate, uh, and this is limited to only 250 variables per flow. Okay, so this is how we can use variables in Power Automate. In the last lesson we have seen about variables, and in the variables there is a variable type known as object. To get each and every type, or we know that object is a collection of some properties, right? To get each and every value we use it in expression there. So these expressions play an important role to perform similar actions. Okay, so this expressions is nothing but we need to a set of functions that can be used to perform specific actions within flow. And this Power Automate leverages same workflow definition language used by the Azure Logic apps here. And some of the examples of these actions are we can perform mathematical calculations and complex conditions. And here some of the sample expressions are replace. This is one function which can take some arguments and give us the value, and the number of characters per expression is 8192. Okay, so let's see. You are seeing here a function or expression. So it's what it is doing, like it's having a variable name countries, and it is splitting the variables with one delimiter comma. Okay, so here in the next expression you can see it is calculating the number of days between two dates. This expression div sub of ticks, this is actually doing calculation, mathematical calculation, getting the number of days between two dates. So like this, these expressions will help us in getting some values. Okay, let's check this in the action. Go to Power Automate. We already saw in the last lesson. Here we have written an expression here. If you see variables of emp details question mark and emp skills, which gives the just emp skills from this object emp details. To get the individual properties we can use this. Okay, here if you click fx here, it will add an expression here, control shift space. Okay, see here we can add. If I click here and if I click fx, you can see so many functions like split, it will come, or we can take this in the, we can create a new flow, or we can make use of this. Anyways, we can I will take a new variable here. Okay, So variable, I will initialize the variable with some 3 countries. So here just mention countries, and I'm taking this as a string type. Here I'm giving India, USA, and here I'm giving Brazil. Okay, so now I'm initializing this countries variable with the value India, USA, Brazil. Okay, now what I will do is I want to split this countries with the comma. Okay, so for that I will create here variable, here initialize a variable, since it's like my array, my country array. To get the individual values, we just need to check with the array here and value here, and we need to split now. So to split, go to fx here on the right side, and in the expression we can write split of, say, variables. And what is the variable name here? Okay, variable name is say countries, and we can write a delimiter here with comma. Okay, I have written this function here. See here, string countries, and we need to check whether we have written the exact name, split variables, like this. Okay, now let's test it, and let's see how that splitting will happen. Test, run flow, done, and it runs successfully. And our variable is value India, USA, Brazil, right? Countries. Now I have split this variable, string variable, and now it is this variable is now converted to array here using split. So India, USA, Brazil. Now let's check how to access this individual array value. Okay, so for that also we need to write one expression. So for that, click new step and write compose here. Take compose, and in the compose you can write one expression, say something like variables of, so our variable name is here my country array, right? My country array. Okay, wait, my country array. And now if you give for a array, we know that in programming languages it will be treated like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to access each and every array. So now here I will give 0 here. So let's see what will come. 0 in the array, 0 means we will get the first country name. Okay, so let's test it. We have written an expression to retrieve each country name from that array. So it ran successfully. In the compose tree I have given 0, right? So the first country will come here, India. Okay, same if I write India, if I write 1, USA will come, Brazil, like that. See here, if I go to variables here, and if I write here 1, it will come as same. So suppose if I write control C here, and I'm writing here, and like this, and if I write like this here 1, and here I will like this, and let's see here will it work or not. First of all, it's not working, so we need to concatenate first. Okay, so what we will do is we will use the other expression which will concatenate all these things. Now concat. Okay, anyways, this indentation is not working. Like if I click here something, actually it must work. Okay, for that what we will do here, let's delete this and let me save this and come from the beginning. Go to my flows, and here again edit, and come down here, and in the new step let me take here compose and write this expression whatever written previously. So my country array of 0, so it will give us the uh, individual country name. And also here I will write like this, and again I will write my country array, and I will keep here 1. Okay, here I'm writing like this, and here again I'm country and 2. Okay, now let's see what are the values you will get. So now to access in each value from the array, so we need to use these variables of, and now you can see India dash USA dash Brazil. Okay, like that we can catch individual names in the array. What expression we have written? Variables of my country array, like that. Okay, so here I'm deleting again all these, and if I see, okay, so like this we can use many functions here, list of functions we can available in Microsoft Docs. You can see here they have given so many function names here. We can make use of that. String functions, concat, combine 2 or more strings, return the combined string. We can make use of that. Substring returns characters from a string starting from the specified position. Okay, like this many functions which can help us in creating the expressions. Union, return a collection that has all the items from the specified collections. See here, equals, logical comparison functions, and equals greater, and we have conversion functions also, array, create array, bool, float, JSON, XML, implicit data conversions. So this also can help us in conversion. So concat, decode, math functions also available here. Random number, if you want to generate a random number, we can make use of this rand function. Date and time functions are there here. Add to time, add seconds, day of month, get future time, all these things ticks. Okay, so now let's add one function so that we can get the difference of dates. Okay, so this is a we can see div subticks of here ticks, and it will give the difference between two dates. Okay, let's write this same expression in the flow. So here let's keep it like this, and let's write this side by side. We will keep this, or else wait, it's no problem. Here You can keep like this, and we can write this same thing, div of sub of ticks. This actually we must write in the expression here. So you click fx, and here in the expression you write here this one, ticks of 2019 or 2020 comma 05 comma 13. Okay, now comma again ticks, and again same thing, 2021 05 13. Okay, and now close this brackets, comma, and 864 and zeros, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, 9 zeros, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 zeros. Okay, now let's complete this expression, and let's see the difference between two dates. What is the two dates? Of May 13th 2020 and May 5th May 13th 2021, and let's see, test it. Run flow, done, and we can see now here the output. We can see compose 3, we got 365. Okay, exactly 365 we got here. It means 1 year, right? That's what. Like this we can make use of the expressions in the Power Automate. Let's explore on the data operations in Power Automate. If you type data operation in the Power Automate flow, so you can see all these compose, filter away, join, select, all these actions, right? So let's study each and every operation, data operation. First, let's start with the compose. So compose action. So if you know how to use variables, this compose action is also similar to that. But what is the difference is between variables and this compose action? And variables we can declare on the top next after the trigger. And if you want to declare a variable in the middle of the flow, say suppose in the condition control, it will show as an error. But compose action will hold just like variables, all the values, but we can always call this compose action wherever you want in the flow. Okay, so we can also declare this compose action and in the middle of the flow or in the end of the flow, wherever you want. So it is having more advantages than variables. Okay, So now let's take an example. Add an array in this compose action and try to get each element in that array using the outputs for the compose. This outputs is one expression which will help us to retrieve each the array elements in the compose. So let's see in the action. Go to Power Automate and take manually trigger a flow here. In the next step, add compose. See, add compose here, and in the compose you just input the array here. I am giving a small array here with colors. Okay, save it now. And if I want to see the complete array, let's add an email. So here I am sending this complete array to my email to check the output. So here full compose, okay, full compose array, we can say like this, and we can give here compose and outputs. Let's see how the output will come. So test it manually, click test and run flow, done. And now go to my email and you can see here full compose array, red, blue, green, yellow. We got this output. Now I want to access this blue element, specific one. Okay, for that what we need to do is just here write an expression for specific array element, for specific array element. So we need to go to add an expression here, and here compose outputs, select this one, and here just give in the square brackets the particular index of that array element. We already know these array elements will have indexes 0, 1, 2. So if you want to access the second one, we need to write here 1, because the first starting will be 0. Okay, now write here and save it and click test. Click test now and run flow, done now, and you will get the email, and you can see this for specific element we got blue. Okay, this is how this compose can be used. And also I will show you now. See, suppose there is a new step here, and in that new step I am showing now what is the difference between the variables and compose. In the condition step, if I want to declare or initialize a variable, see how it will show an error now. Variable, initialize variable. So here it is showing the operation initialize variable can only be used at top level. Generally variables are used to hold values. Suppose the variable wants to hold a value of this array, but here we even cannot declare these variables in the condition control. So in this case, in this situations, we need to use compose. See, compose, no problem, compose can be used here. Okay, so this is the difference. We can use compose anywhere in our flow, or we can declare anywhere in our flow. Okay, so next one, so let's delete all these things now, and let's move to the next data operation. Okay, let's see, check what is the next operation, join action. Okay, this join action is used to delimit an array with the separator of your choice. Suppose we have an array here, red, blue, green, all the elements are there, right? And if you want to join those all the array elements and the make it as a string, we can make use of this join action here. Suppose if you have an array with 10 emails, okay, but while sending an email to multiple people, we need to have a delimiter semicolon, right? So we will join all these array elements with a delimiter semicolon here, the join action here. Okay, so then we can send that to everybody. And also using this join action, we can add different kinds of array elements like numbers, strings, etc. We can even join emojis also here. Okay, for this join, the expression is join create array, like this. If array is not created, if the array is already created, you can just give that array name here. Okay, now let's check this join action in the Power Automate. Here compose I have used, so I will join all these compose array elements using join here. I am adding an action here, data operations, and the data operations I am using here join, and in the join I will get the from the compose, because compose is already holding a array, right? So now I will join all these array elements with hyphen, right? Hyphen or double hyphen, double one or single hyphen here. And I want to send this join result in an email. So here remove this, full join result, and here let's me give join output, and let's check the output, test it, click test and run flow, done. And now you go to email and you can see all these array elements are joined by hyphen here, see. So like this we can make use of this join data operation. See, now we got like this. Okay, so now let's go and see what is the next join operation. So the next one is parse JSON. This is a very important one. What it will do is, JSON we already know, it will begin with curly braces, and it will have one property. Okay, this parse JSON will make this JSON structure into components, and it will give the information to us. Okay, so parse JSON will help us to reveal each property so that we can make use for dynamic content. So while using this, we need to use sample payload from the output in the same format. Okay, so let's see how it will work. So I am going to Power Automate here, and now in the compose, so here join, I am removing the join. Now it's not required. So in the compose, I will write a object here. Say suppose a big object is there. An array here. In this I am writing a object, because array can hold strings, numbers, and also objects. Here I am giving emp name, here skills, SharePoint, you can write the designation, consultant. Okay, this is one object. Now the same array, so this is a object now. Okay, this is array. Okay, in this array we have an object here. So save, and here let's see how to retrieve this one with the parse JSON here. Okay, so now let's add an action, and here in the parse right, just data operations, here parse JSON. Here it is asking the content, right? We can get this content from this compose. Click compose and outputs, and it is asking the schema. So the schema is like this. Copy this full one, and here we can generate from sample. We can give the same thing, and done. It's saying something, maybe SharePoint. Okay, dot is here. Okay, we will remove dot and we will give comma here, and done. Here also same here, instead of here we need to give data. So now we framed this sample, generate from sample. Okay, now in the send email we can, since this is a JSON structure, this is JSON structure, right? And we need to get the this JSON structure is there, and to reveal these properties in this JSON structure we are using this parse JSON. So from the parse JSON here we can get each and individual properties here. See here, name. So here if I add a dynamic value from the parse JSON, emp name comes. Okay, now and also since it's array, it's applied to each, is automatically it is coming. So here name again, skills we can write. If you write skills here, skills here, designation, we can see, right? And if I can have more than one object in the array. This is I have given only one object right here. If I have copy and add one more object here with different names, okay, let's save this. And now let's see how the email, how we will get the output from the email. We are making this in the this parse JSON will help us to reveal the properties in a structure. Okay, now let's test it. Test and run flow. Done. And we will get 2 emails. Maybe let's check, or one email, individual email. We got 2 here. See, first one is with Bharat SharePoint consultant. The next object is Krishna.NET consultant. This will reveal to us, this parse JSON will reveal the structure so that we can get the property names here. What are these property names? emp name, skills, designation are the properties names here. So if you go to email, we can see here the name Krishna.NET, designation consultant we got here, Bharat SharePoint consultant we got here, right? This is how this parse JSON will help us. Okay, now let's check the other one, other data operation, select, right? This select will take content from the payloads and manipulate it. Suppose we have a payload, first name is Yugiana, last low page, first low Elizabeth, last more, and this select action will help us to transform the shape of objects in an array. And instead of this first last, we can join these two as a full family name. Here you see here family name, and here we are manipulating or we are transforming that particular array. So let's see how this select action will help us. Okay, now go to the Power Automate here, and in the inputs employee name Bharat I have given like this, right? Employee here I will give employee surname, emp surname, and I will give here the value, okay, like this, and I will add also this same thing here. Krishna N. So now what I will do is this parts.json we already worked with, right? And let's keep this, and this apply to each we can delete now. Now what we will do is this emp name Bharat, emp surname, we have surname is here, right? This one we can add in the payload. This is missing in the payload, right? So let's add the payload once again here. We can add fully like this. Done. Okay, we are missing something here. Oh, okay, here we are missing double quotes. Okay, now it's done. Double quotes. Okay, we have given like this, and save it now. And from the parts.json I need to manipulate this data. This parts.json we will get the data like if you test, you will get some JSON data, right? In the parts.json the content action must be valid JSON. Okay, maybe some JSON problem here we got with emp name skills.net designation here maybe some, okay, emp surname and we have written, okay, emp surname, and also, okay, we will add only one. Let's remove this for now. Let's remove this. We will add here this one, or else we can also just copy paste this schema. Let's copy this schema, okay, like this, and give here generate from this sample. And now we need to give here array, okay. Now click done and check now, save and test it. Okay, run flow, done. So in the parts.json the body is coming like emp name Bharat, emp surname, ch skills designation, right? So now we will use this select and manipulate it, and I will combine this emp surname and this emp name. Okay, now here add the new step, here add data operations. The data operations, what we will do is data operations we can make use of this select. The select it we will take the data from the parts.json body. In the enter key I will write full name full name of employee. So in the full name of employee, what I will do, enter value. Here I will write employee name along with surname here. Okay, in the skills, normal skills I will give. Okay, here skills, and here designation will be normal. Here designation I will give. So here I am manipulating that particular JSON structure, and I am combining the two, name and surname, using this select. Let's save it and check, test it. It's saving now, and test it now. Done. And test this select. In the select, now you can see the output. Input is Bharat CH is there. Now full name, it's joined the two things, and we manipulated that particular JSON format. This is how this select will work. Okay, now let's go and add a little bit. Let's go and see what is the other the other data operation. So the other data operation is generate a HTML table. Okay, here create HTML table action to change a JSON array input to HTML table. Okay, we already know that JSON array and the headers visible to the HTML input. So okay, here in the next class we will see how to make use of the generate HTML one. But here also we will see a simple example here. Go to here JSON array. If you have any JSON array, this is JSON array only, and here let's add one new step. Here let's data operations, and the operations add create HTML table here. So in the create HTML table, this output I can get from any kind of variable or compose. We can also get from the compose. This is JSON object, right? What we can do is like we can give an maybe we can give like this first, and let's get this from the we can also get from the compose or parse JSON. Let's see from the compose where or from the parse JSON or the compose. First we will, what we will do is from the compose we will see. Okay, compose, and now here the columns are automatic, right? And let's see, save and test, and let's see the HTML table. This is little tricky, I think so. This one, okay. We got HTML table now, and like see that with emp name, emp surname, skills, designation, like this we got this. And if you add more objects here like this, let me add the compose more objects, comma, emp name. Let me add more here. Okay, now here let me modify this content little bit. Let me add here little bit SharePoint consultant. Okay, now what we will do is save it, and let's see how the table will come, the output. Test it, run flow, done. I just added more objects in that particular array element, and now you can see this table format we got. Okay, like this we can add we can make use of this create HTML table in the data operations. Now let's go and check another one in the data operations. we can see create CSV table. Okay, from the CSV table also same thing, from compose, and here we can take automatic and save it like tests manually and run flow. Done. Now you can also see how the output will come. Output is coming with the CSV with some comma delimiters. Okay, this is how it will work. And now let's see the other one, filter action. So what it will do? Filter array action to reduce the number of objects in array to a subset that matches the criteria you provides. Okay, so let's check this one. Go to the here and add filter array here from the data operations. So data operations, we have filter array here. Okay, in the filter array to filter to, so I want to filter an array from the compose. Okay, and now choose a value. What is equal to, I want to choose a value here. I want this value emp designation or skills equal to SharePoint. Okay, I want is equal to SharePoint. So our array is having, our array's data is having so many 3 items are there. Now I'm filtering that array item with the say suppose designation. So designation designation consultant. Okay, now if I filter this array, now we will get, instead of skills I will give here designation, and here I will give the consultant. So what it will do, that it will filter the array with, and we will get the only 2 items. Now save it and let's test it. Run flow and let's see. Done, and it ran successfully, and you can see here we got filter array and the output employee name Bharat CH SharePoint consultant we got, and we click next, and in the next nothing is here, and we go here next, we got consultant again. Then the second step we didn't get anything right, because here actually the, you should see the second one is manager, that's why it's not filtering here. Okay, like that we can make use of this filter which will filter the arrays. Okay, these all completely about the data operations, and in the next lesson we will check one scenario where we will make use of this generate HTML table, and we will convert that all the SharePoint list items or Excel items into a PDF, making use of this generate HTML data operation. Let's start with the approvals in the Power Automate. So this is one real-time example, so which can help us in creating these flows, approval flows. Okay, so here it is a vacation request. Suppose a request is raised by an employee here, and it will go to first level approver. And so if vacation days are greater than 7, it will be automatically reject, and it sends an email to the person who requested this vacation. Okay, so here we can say that a leave request or vacation request is automated by Power Automate here. Okay, so if vacation days are not greater than 7, then it will be approved by the supervisor, and again an email will be sent. So next, the second level approver also will be available here, and he will get the request once it is approved by the supervisor first level. So in the second level, the approver will see if the team buffer is available or not, whether if that employee takes this vacation. So now if it is okay with him, he will approve, or else he will reject in the second level. So these type of workflows we can achieve with the Power Automate. Okay, now let's go and see. And some of the popular cases where approvals can be used are approving vacation time requests, approving documents that need sign off, approving expense reports. Okay, so here I'm going to show you what are the actions available in Power Automate related to the approvals. So if you type approvals in the actions, you can see this: create an approval, start and wait for an approval, wait for an approval. Okay, if you want to quickly get started with approvals, use the start and wait for an approval action. This action lets you provide the information that should be in the approval request and the approvers who will receive the request. When you start and wait for an approval action, the flow starts and then waits for the approver's response before it completes the run. Okay, if you consider that the second one, start and wait for an approval, it will first send the approval, and here it will wait for the response from the approver. Okay, so these type of things we can achieve with these approval actions. Here if you see approval type, there are again approval type. We have seen the approval actions, and in that we can see the approval types: approve or reject. Everyone must approve. All approvers are given two options: approve or reject, and response is needed from each approver before the flow run completes. Okay, the actions that follow the start and wait for an approval action run after all of the approvers respond, or when a single rejection is done. Here approve, reject, everyone must approve. This is like every this will is like everybody needs to be must run this approval thing here, respond. Everybody, suppose if there are 10 persons are there, the 10 persons must respond. Okay, in the 10 persons, if any one of the person reject it, the whole thing is rejected. That's all. Okay, so the next one, approve or reject. First to respond, assigned approvers are given two options: approve or reject. Approve or rejection may by any approver completes the request. So here in the first one, all must approve. Okay, here anyone can approve. Okay, so here if you see, start and wait for an approval action run after any one of the approver decides. Okay, that you must remember. And the next one, custom responses. Wait for all responses. You define the options the assigned approvers can choose from. Suppose here every time we have only approve or reject, right? If you use wait for all responses, you can write more than that. Like you can show the suppose approve or reject is here, right? In that you can say partially approved. One new option also you can add, partially approved, like that. Or if you want to give some options like colors, choose this color like red, blue, yellow, orange, like that. If you want, this will work with only 5 custom responses you can give. Generally you will see approve or reject, right? Here you can write like approve in the process, like approve, partially approve, reject, partial reject, something like that. Whatever you like, you can keep that as custom responses. And the next one, custom responses, wait for one response. You define the options the assigned approvers can choose from. A response from any approver completes the process. Okay, these approval types you remember. So now let's see the demo in the next video. Okay. Let's see now how to create a approval flows. Okay, so here this is Power Automate landing page. Go to templates first. Okay, so from templates, if you learn everything, it will be easy for us. And here if you see, there are so many divisions here. So let's click approval template, and you can see lot of approval templates available. Okay, so here let's take a simple one. Okay, so if you want a simple approval template, when a uh, say something like list item, let's check if anything is available. List item, here request approval first to respond for a selected item, or click here request approval. You can see here so many coming from SharePoint items. Here where is the basic flow. So when a file is, let's search, no problem. Here you can see so many things. So here okay, here you can see one more, delete a file from SharePoint library if an approval request is declined. So this is a one nice one, we can check with it. And let's click see more templates, and you can see this approval C is also we can connect with the other services like box. And here you can also see automate file uploads to Basecamp 3 with files attached to approved emails. Okay, here also you can see move a new file in OneDrive to a different folder after approval. See, these kind of simple things we can achieve with these approvals here. Here if you see, start, and first we will observe one template approval workflow, and later we can create then it from the scratch. Okay, so start an approval for new file to move into a different folder. Let's click it. So you can see here SharePoint and approvals are happening, and it will check the permissions. Click continue, and this is a simple one. Okay, with some conditions. Let's see this one. So now here you can see when a file is created, site address. Okay, so whatever site you have, you can give here and select the folder ID. It will start have a start and wait approval. Here the title is approve this document, right? And here we can give the assign to, and here the details. Please approve if this file is ready for prime time file name. Okay, and if you want item link of this, you can give, and here the condition, expand condition. If response from this approval is equal to approve, then we can create a file name, file content. Okay, so here this file is created is right, so the file name will come from this file when a file is created step, and the file content also same here from this step. Here site address and file identifier we need to give to delete here. Okay, so start an approval for a new file to move it to a different folder. Okay, when you are moving, you can delete it from the source folder once it is moved or created in that particular folder path. Okay, now let's see this example and how we can create this. For this we need one SharePoint site. Let's go to my SharePoint here. So here I have many sites. Let's see. Yeah, here spt2022 sharepoint.com is here. I have many sites. Say I have communication site here. Let's go here. Communication site. This is a communication site I have. So let's create a document library here. Site contents. If you go and see, we can have so many documents, lists, etc. So here documents is already available, and I will create a new document library here. So this is HR docs. Okay, something like this, whatever you want, name it, create. And this is the HR one. Okay, HR docs, and we have one more documents here. This is the documents, and if you, according to this workflow, start an approval for new file to move into a different folder. Okay, so let's add this site address here first. So in the site address you can enter the custom value, or you can directly give the communication site. So our communication site is spt2022 sharepoint.com, right? So you can give this, and the folder ID you can give like document. Here the actually it is showing the documents, but its internal name is shared documents. That is important point. Whenever you are giving some of the names of the lists or libraries, you must check the exact name here, shared documents. Okay, so here come and check shared documents. So now if I want to create a new file in this folder, okay, it will automatically will move to the HR folder, say HR document library once after approval. Okay, so approve this document we are giving. I am assigning to here myself, or you can give to whatever user you want. So Alex. Okay, so details here, please approve if this file is ready for prime time. Okay, item link if you want, you can give here just hover this, and you can give here file content, file identifier, file name, file path. If you want, you can give, or not necessary. Okay, so item link description, if you want, you can write something whatever you want. So here once this approval is met, response is equal to approve, it will create a new file in the site address, same communication site, but the folder path we will change it to HR docs. Okay, so now it will delete the site, it will delete the address from the communication site. File identifier, it is actually coming from the create file. Okay, this file identifier, if you hover on this, you can see trigger outputs of header. Okay, so you can also see here file name, ms encoded here headers, you can see file content, These three things are coming from the when a file item is when a file is created step. Okay, so if you want to see, I will show you file name. File name will come. I am removing here file name. This file name generally will come from the when a file is created file name. If I delete this file content, you can also see here the file content will come from the when a file is created file content. And if I delete this file identifier, if I select this, the file identifier is coming from the when a file is created here. Okay, so like this you can take the information of the file from the when a file is created step. Okay, now let's save it and see if anything is there. No errors result in conditional checks. Okay, conditional checks is this is my conditional checks, no problem. So now I will upload a file into this documents and let's see how this flow runs. So let me check any document is available here. So I have a document here with name something is here. Let's add this. So it's uploading this item and it uploaded, and let's see the flow how it runs. My flows, and click here this flow and it got it. So click runs and let's see, it's it will say maybe let's check one email here, or I think we have not given any email or what. Let's see, we got an email or not here first. Okay, first I think we need to test it, right? So that is a problem here. Okay, first let's do one thing, test it manually here. Okay, test, and to see it work now add a file to the SharePoint folder. Okay, let's add here one more time. So I added one more time and let's see this replace here, and here it's running now when a file is created now, and it is stopped at start an approval here. And let's see here, we got any email. Yeah, we got one email here. So let's check here, approve. Please approve if this file is ready for prime time. Config Microsoft SharePoint hybrid capabilities.pngs. Okay, approve, approved. Okay, submit. Then let's see, this will running of this flow. So I approved there, and let's see the flow is running here and everything is clean now with these green tick marks. And now it must be deleted from that particular folder here. It deleted now and it must go into the HR docs. See, now you got into HR docs. This is how you can create some little flows related to approvals. Okay, when it is approved, and you can get these final output. Okay, once let's check this template and start and approval. Here we have taken a start and approval, and title we have given details, item link, everything now. Okay, so this is a simple flow to learn the flows with approvals. Okay. In this video, let's explore a single approval workflow. So pick up one template from the Power Automate. So here we have different sheet templates, and here I am picking up send approval email when a new item is added. So let's check here this approval email. when a new item is added in the SharePoint list, an approval email will comes to the manager of that particular person who is creating the item here. Okay, here we are going to learn how to do this approval as well as how to get the manager of the person who is creating this item. So first here the first step is when a new item is created. So here select your site address and the list name. So once that is done, here we have a workflow step here, approval step, set, start and approval. Here in this check which approval type is relevant to us. So here I think we can go with first to respond. Okay, so now the next one is title. So we can write here whatever the title we want and assign to. We can give the uh, anybody who is our manager, or we can also get the manager here of the person who is creating this item. Okay, now it's better to get the manager name here or manager email. So if there is an option in this Power Automate, we have Office 365 users. If you click that, you can see the all actions related to the Office 365, and we can select here Get Manager V2. Okay, it will ask us user name or email, so that it will be the manager name of that particular person. So here we have created by column. So we can use that and it will give the manager name. So it will give the manager display name, manager mail, everything related to that manager. So we can in those options we can take the mail of that particular manager in the start and approval process. Okay. So now if you want more about this get manager, we can also always see in the Microsoft Docs. So here now I'm checking what is relevant email or assigned to here. So in the assigned to I will select the mail, so that it will assign to that particular manager here. Okay, I'm selecting the mail. So now this main step is done. Now the details in the approval workflow. So here simply we can write please approve this item, and we can just tell the Microsoft SharePoint list dynamic value title here, and in the approvals there is no formatting of the text, but Microsoft is providing a markdown language for the approvals emails. Okay, so here making use of that markdown language, we can use some syntax so that the description in the approvals will come nicely to us in a good format. So if you see here, we can also like just like h1 header, h2 header in the HTML, we can also use some of the symbols before the text, so that they will be converted these h1 header, h2 header, bold, italics, etc. here. Okay, that is known as markdown language. So here let's apply simple things. I'm giving here hash symbol. Okay, so it works like a heading, and we can also make some little formatting here. So here if you want here, you can also frame the links, hyperlinks, where it must go. Like if a mail body wants hyperlinks in that, we can also create the hyperlinks here, just like this. Okay, so now let's add a simple table kind of thing here. So if you see previously in my PowerPoint presentation, you can see I have shown you some kind of formatting I have given to format the description of this approval workflow. Here you must use hyphens and pipe symbols to frame the description nicely for the approval type. Okay, let's concentrate on this. How let's see how I'm creating here. So here I'm doing all these things for the say for the table. And give one by one row here and the column values. You can also write here. So because these are related like columns and rows, so we will write exactly under the columns. Now it's done. So now let's see, we can create a link to that particular item. Okay, we can select from the dynamic content. So now send email. So now this is my list here, and I'm going to create an item here in the SharePoint list. Fill all the mandatory fields and click OK, save it. That's enough for now, so that it will go for the approval. Okay, now it's created the item, and let's see what happens. So now let's see whether we got our manager name. Yes, it's giving the manager name. Let's check the email now. So who is the okay. Okay, now the manager is Miriam, so I need to go and check the email address of the Miriam and check the inbox whether the email came or not. Okay, let's log in into the Miriam account and check. So now let's check the email and let's see how the workflow come up here. Yes, here the approval request is showing here for us now. Let's check. So here we got approval request, approval email. Please approve this item crossing, and it's giving the column 1, column 2, column 3 from the markdown language. For more, click here. So it's perfectly working. The to the external. Okay, this is an automated message. Okay, it's working very nice. And now let's approve or reject here. Okay, now if you are not able to access any of the page, it means there are some permissions. Let's go and give it the permissions. Okay, now we added now let's check again to approve this item for the medium. Okay, now click approve, then the process will send approve to that particular person, or it will give leaves the options to approve in the Power Automate. This is a single level approval workflow. We can do it in this Power Automate. Okay, sometimes if it is compatible good, you can also approve from the browser itself. Okay. Now this is how we can approve the one of the item here, and check on the left side what happens when it is approved. Okay, so how the workflow runs, you can see here. I just click okay, and now done, and you can see now this start an approval. It's approval request, approval email. You can see all the information here. Okay. This is the formatting we have done. Everything is perfect now. This is the easiest way to create an approval for the SharePoint list item. Using the templates, we can use a template and do our modifications and just leave it and save. Then everything will be working fine. And expression level is true now, and we are sending an email, or we can say like this item is approved. Okay, let's check the email. So we are sending back an email to that particular person who is creating this item and mentioning them that is thanks. Okay, this is how very easy process to create a single item approval in SharePoint and Power Automate together. And also you can see the JSON data is coming from the start and approval. Okay, so this is the basic steps of approval workflows, and in the next lesson let's see how we can create a multi-level approval. Okay, thank you. So in this lesson, let's learn how to create a multi-level workflow approval here. So here this is a real-time example. You can see here an employee is raising an vacation request, and it is been went to approval for the supervisor, and he can reject or he can accept. And again, after he's approving this, it's sent for an manager approval, and the manager also done the same, like rejecting or approving. Okay, now let's see this two-level workflow approval in the Power Automate. Okay, so here first I need to create a SharePoint list with column supervisor response and manager response and an approval status. And after that we need to have these three steps: user will raise request, supervisor approves, rejects, manager approves or reject. Okay, now let's see the structure of the SharePoint list. So before going to that, we need to be careful, like record of the supervisor response and manager responses. Okay, those are very important because in every email we will mention the responses for the person who created this training request. This is my SharePoint list with the name employee training requests, and these are the columns I have created. I'm just showing now the list settings where you can see all the columns related to this. Okay, here if you see I have created all this in a single line of text: supervisor responses, comments, etc., everything, right? Now this is the workflow I already created and I will explain you step by step now. Okay, here the supervisor name is Miriam Graham and manager name is Adele V. Okay, so this is the form where we need to create the item here. Okay, the first step will be when an item, the first trigger, the trigger will be when a training request, means when a SharePoint list is created. Okay, so when it's created, we need to give site address and the list name, and after that we will update the item with the approval status as pending with supervisor, because in the beginning it must be pending with the supervisor, right? So you will update the list item like this. Okay, so you will get the ID from the when an training is requested, and after that we will send an email to the person who created this training request. So here we write the body and frame the email here with all the dynamic values coming from the first step. Okay, so now we are going to show these values in the email. All these are dynamic values coming from this first step when a training is created. Okay, now after this we will create a start and approval for the supervisor. Actually we are starting wait and approval process. Okay, this is the approval process step. Here we are just giving the what is approval type and what is the title, what is assigned to. We are assigning this to Miriam Graham, and we are framing the details of the flow, approval flow, and here we are getting all these from the dynamic values. Okay, and here we are giving title, and we are giving the cost, and we are giving this. All these are coming from the dynamic content, and also the item link finally. So now apply to each. We need to add a conditional control so that the outcome coming from that particular start and wait approval process, we will compare with some kind of value, say approve. So if the response is from the workflow is approve, then we need to again update the item with the status, approval status, with supervisor response and the supervisor comments. Okay, so here approval status is approved by supervisor or pending with manager. Exactly. Okay, all these workflow outcomes we can get from the start and wait approval process here. Okay, so these are also dynamic content. This is also coming from the dynamic content, and approval status you can see approved by supervisor, the first one, and this is the pending with the manager now. And send an email to the person who raised this request about the present status, like mentioning as your approval status is approved by supervisor, and if it is not approved by supervisor, you can also write in no condition. In the no condition, we will update the item like it is rejected by the supervisor. You can see the status, approval status we have written rejected by the supervisor, and send an email. Okay, so now we have completed the first level. Okay, now if we have completed everything nicely in the first approval, after sending the email, again we will need to start and wait for an approval inside this. Okay, so here we will use the approval type custom responses, wait for a response. Okay, Here I'm taking the response option items approve and reject. Here custom responses, actually we are using a different kind of approval type, and the title and the assign to here. So details all the things. Okay, it is also similar to the first level one, and same thing you just replicate with all these update items, send an email, and if condition yes or no, all these things. Okay, so now finally we will write your training request approved by manager, and if it is not, it will go to no, and we will update the column names and send an email saying it's rejected by the manager. So this is how the full multi-level workflow looks, and let's try to run this flow once. Okay, let's run this. Click test on right side and click manually, and if you click manually it will ask us to create an item in the SharePoint list. So go to the SharePoint list and create a new item here, and mention the title as SharePoint training, and then the cost you can give 30,000 and click save. So now the SharePoint item is created. Go to the flow. You can see the flow is running now, and we have updated the item approval status column, and we have sent an email to the person who created this one, and check now the approval status. It is like pending with supervisor, and also check the email whether the person got this email or not, the person who created this item. So let's see. Yeah, now he got the email. He got the email now. Yes. So he got the email. Let's go to the second thing. So now since we have resolved this, and a start and wait for an approval by supervisor is started, so the email must go to the Miriam Graham. Now let's open her email. Okay, so let's go to sign up, and let's check whether she got an email or not from the approval process. Let's go and create. So let's check her exact email address in the admin center. So here I am giving whatever email address I have already, whatever the user email. If in your tenant, if there are different user, you give those usernames. Okay, here Graham. Taking her email so that I can log into the account and check whether she got the email to approve. Okay, let's it seems it's a dummy account. I am going and checking, but don't do this with your manager's account. So now let's go and approve this request, and I'm keeping the things side by side. You can see when I click the submit, and you can see here on the left side how this workflow runs. So let me zoom it a bit, then you can see here, or else you can click that arrow, black arrow. Okay, so now you got this email, and click approve so that our workflow will move further. And now the approval will goes to the manager. Sometimes we need to go to Power Automate and to do approve. Yes, now confirm. Now same thing, it will run like the now approval is went to the second level manager. Who is the second level manager here? Adel V. Okay. Now let's close the supervisor's email and open the manager email now to approve the second level. Okay, now we have sent already an email to the person who created the item about the status, whether it is rejected or accepted by the manager supervisor. Now let's check about the manager here, and also we updated the column of approval status. You can see. So now let's close this supervisor email, and now let's open manager email to approve for the second level. Okay, now who is the second level manager? Adele Vance. Okay, let's open her email and check whether we got an approval request. The sign in is successful now, and let's see her outlook for the email. Yes, now we got an email, new training request. It's nice. Okay, so Adele is a manager and she got a training request approval. So let's approve here also and check how this workflow runs. Okay, now training request is there, and let's click approve. And let's see what happens now. Okay, this is the first time for the Adele to open this Power Automate, so it's asking which country. Okay, selected US and go to the action items and the approvals. You can see here respond and respond with approve tick mark. Okay, click it, confirm, and come to the workflow. Now okay, maybe maybe we need to refresh once, or we can open this again. It's better to open this again so that we can see the updates, how it's running. Yes, let's check now. So go to the flow and click again the workflow history, and you can see everything is in green mark. It means the second level approval is also done for the training request. Okay, now easy. Let's go and check the emails. Let's go and check the email. In this lesson, let's do some SharePoint operations here. So you need to have a SharePoint list. I'm presently having a SharePoint list with the name student registration, and let's check its list settings so that I can show you the columns available here. So in this SharePoint list we have title, student name, class, fees, group, and fees group are in a single choice, and section is choice, fees is single. Okay, fees date, all these things are available in this SharePoint list. And now let's go to our Power Automate and click here create. So what we will do is like when we create an item, let's send an email. Okay, so I'm taking here automated cloud flow, skip here. Let's go and check SharePoint. We have SharePoint here, so I'm just clicking. You can see all the triggers related to SharePoint: when an item is created, when a file is created for a selected item, when a file is deleted, all these things. So let's check with the first one, when an item is created. Okay, so the site address, we need to give the SharePoint URL here. If you check here, my SharePoint URL is SharePoint lessons. So here you can search that SharePoint lessons, and the list name is student registration. Here student registration, let's check. Student is available here. Okay, now we can also see here advanced options, limit columns by view. If you have any view in the SharePoint list, we can give that. If it is not available, it's okay. And for the next step, let's add something like send an email. Send an email notification we can send, or we can just send an email here to, okay, I'm giving here the people who wants to receive this notification. Here we can write like an item is created. Okay, so here also in the body we can write an item is created with ID, and we can give the ID here by giving the dynamic value. Here title we can give student, class, fees, group, everything. And here if you want title, right, so just type ID. Here ID came, so we can give ID, and we can also give the details if you want details. We can give like title, student name, everything we can give. So title, student name, class, and this is a simple flow. Okay, so class, fees, and since this group is a choice field, so we will give like group value will come. Okay, so section value, these things, these details. Okay, so now let's save it, and let's test this workflow. So let me click test here on the right. So once if we click test, so I'm checking manually, click test, And to see it work now, add a new list item to the SharePoint folder. Okay, so now let's go here and add a new item here. So you can see this is done in Power Apps. So title I am giving like Mr. Ramakrishna, and class you can give fourth, fees you can use something 10,000 around, group value MPC, class we can give here as inter. Okay, so section we can give B section, and now we can save here. Save, click save. If once you save this item, I have saved this item Mr. Ramakrishna inter 12 and fees group, all these details. Let's check we got any mail or not, and let's first see whether our flow ran successfully. It's ran successfully. Now you can see here the things with a tick mark, green tick mark, and you can see all this email went to Bharat here and with this body, and you can also see here we got an item is created with ID 12 and all the details we got here. Okay, so this is how we can create a SharePoint items, and let's try to do one thing now. We just let's add a new step, and we can see whether we can do other operations available here. So now let's see the other operations. Update item, we have update item. Let's see and whether we can update the item or not. Let's give here site address, same SharePoint lessons here. Okay, in the list name you select student registration. It's coming, it's taking some time. So here student registration, and ID you need to get from the top. Okay, so ID here, title I'm give title as Mr. something. We can write the student name also. We can take from the actually title here, whatever it is coming from the when an item is created you can give the title. Student name also you can give from the item is created. Class we can say we can update it. Okay, so we can write here junior inter. I'm just updating with this, and I'm giving here this 5000, and if you want you can give group value or we can keep normal. Okay, section value we got a all these things. Let's see if I keep here section value as normal and I give here section value here. Okay, here group value also I can add a custom item. In that custom item we can give here group value, section value. Okay, now let's check fees date. I'm not giving anything. Let's check now how this will get updated. Okay, save. Updated means whatever I give here now will be updated with the class junior enter 5000. So testing test, and I am giving the new item here, the title Mr. Ramana. Class I'm giving here just enter, but what we have done in the flow is we have given it must be updated with some junior enter. So in the file here MPC section A I'm giving. Now if I update if this flow runs, we will get an email with all these details, but the item will get updated with the values we have given in the flow. Okay, click save now, and let's see the flow is running or not. So it's running, and it's ran successfully. We got an email, Mr. Ramana enter on MPCA, but the update must be different. Mr. Ramana Junior enter 13 5000 MPC and it's updated. Okay, like this SharePoint update item will work. Okay, now after updation, what we can do is uh, uh, we can also read the items here. So we can read the items and send the items through email. So first of all, we can write here get items in the SharePoint or get item. Okay, so whatever, get item, let's check get items are there. Here it's get items is there, and I cannot see anything like get item. Let's okay, we have the get item here. Okay, so I'm just giving the SharePoint. Okay, so here and list name as student registration, and the ID I will give here, which is coming from update or created. Okay, whatever we can give, update also we can give, it's not an issue. I'm giving from the update. So let's see what item actually we will get. Okay, I'm saving this, and we actually will get the updated item. Okay, so let's test it with the previous data is also fine, or we can give it manually and test with the new data here. So we need to give the new item. Here we will give and pass enter. Please, we can give something, but it will update with the item in the here, which will be get updated with the item in the when an item updated. Okay, so now we got email Miss Lakshmi enter 15,000 to this is actually what we have created, and the updated item will be Miss Lakshmi Junior enter 14 5000. We already know because we updated in this update item here. Now let's see whether we got the get item or not. So if I click get item, you can see ID 14, title Miss Lakshmi Junior enter 5000, which we got after updation. Okay, like this you can retrieve the single item in SharePoint. You can see since the group and section are say choice fields, these are complex fields, so we got the output like this: O data type Microsoft, list expanded ID 0 value MPC, like this. Okay, so this we need to remember very much, and these all things are normal now. Okay, now let's add a delete option here. Okay, so I'm clicking here the new step and SharePoint. So here I'm selecting SharePoint, and you can see here so many other things, but I will just check if anything available for delete. Yeah, we got the delete item here. In the delete item, I will just give here
lessons, my SharePoint site collection, and the list name student registration here. Same. Sorry. It's not coming up. Let me add one more time. Okay, let me do delete here once, and let me add one more time here. Go to delete and SharePoint delete. Okay, here I am selecting delete. Here delete item is available, and here I will select my SharePoint site and list name as student registration, and ID I will give from, we can give from get item or whatever here. Okay, I am giving from the get item. So now let me save this and let me run this. You can see the item will be deleting here, test here, and you can add manually or we can take automatically from the previous triggers here. Succeeded and click test, and let's see whether it will get deleted. We can see here this got deleted here, and now you can also come and see delete item is deleted with the ID 14, and we can see here there is no item with ID 14 here, it's got deleted. Okay, this is how we can do SharePoint operations. Okay, we can, there are many steps and many actions you can make use of in the Power Automate.
Hello everyone, in this video let's check with the new requirement. Here we need to capture the Microsoft Forms responses and insert all the information into the SharePoint list. Okay, for that we need to have Microsoft Forms licenses first, and then we can create my Microsoft form or quiz. Okay, then in the SharePoint list with the same column names we need to create a SharePoint list schema, and after that we need to create a flow with Power Automate so that it will get the form ID and its response there. But here we need to use the action get form responses just with the uh, normal form response action. We will not get all the fields, so we need to use the get forms responses action here. Okay, so from that we can get all the one by one values of these particular fields and match that responses with the SharePoint columns. And once it is done, save your Power Automate and give and start giving the responses, and it will get inserted into the SharePoint list. So now let's see some hands-on on this requirement. So first let's create a Microsoft form. I'm already having the Microsoft Forms licenses, and let me show you. I created already these questions here, quiz, something like that. You can also if you have forms you can also create with name, mobile, email, and with these questions, what is the capital of India and what is the capital of China and what is the capital of USA. Okay, I created a form like this. This is very easy to create. So once it is done, let's create a list also, SharePoint list. So this is my SharePoint site, and here I am clicking on the right side settings wheel. Here there is an option add an app. Okay, click add an app, and you can see here custom list, right? Click custom list and name it as capture form response, capture quiz, or capture forms response. Okay, so click create, and by default we will see a column already with the title, and let's keep it title for the name, and create here add column with mobile number, with mobile, and create one more with for email, and create another column for the question, capital of India, and one more column with a single line of text, capital of China, and here at last capital of USA. Okay, all we have taken the type as single line of text. So now we have created the SharePoint list. Okay, so now let's go to the Power Automate. So for this creating this flow, we need to have the license for the Power Automate also, and let's click create here, and select automated cloud flow, and here you can skip, and now here you can see Microsoft Forms, right? Click Microsoft Forms, and here when a new response is submitted, a trigger, select this trigger, and now it will ask for the form ID. Now you can give the capitals of countries. Okay, because this is actually capitals of countries, that's why. So now click new step and get the responses. Okay, get responses details. This is if you click get response details. Okay, these response details are from Microsoft Forms. Okay, then select it, and again you give the form ID as the capitals of countries here, and the response ID you just click this add dynamic value, and you can see the response ID here. When a new response is submitted, that response ID we need, right? So click the response ID. Okay, now once you get the response details, you need to create the item, right? Create item. In site address it is asking, our site address is SharePoint lessons, so SharePoint lessons select, and what is the list name? List name is capture forms response. Okay, so now here title we can give as name. Okay, mobile number as mobile number, we are matching, we are just mobile number. Here email, capital of India, here capital of India, again capital of China, capital of USA. Okay, now you have created these flows, all the steps, and click save. So if you want, you can change the name here. When a new response submitted, get response details, something like. When a new response is submitted, you can change the name, or it's okay. Now let's create one form's response now, and let's see whether this information will go into the SharePoint list. This is our SharePoint list. Okay, let's see now. Preview it, and here write your name, mobile, and email. What is the capital of India? It's New Delhi. What is the capital of China? Beijing. What is the capital of USA? Washington DC. Here, and click submit now. Click submit, and once you submit, you can see here the responses will come into the list directly. Now you can see, right? The title is Bharat, and mobile, email, capital of India, capital of China, capital of USA. All these answers came now. This is how you need to capture uh, the form's response using the Power Automate. Okay, let's see the this flow history here. Go to my flows and click here when a response is submitted, and you can see all runs here. Okay, let's see this succeeded. Click it, and you can see here all are in green mark. Okay, so this form id, get response details, you got the response details here, and create item, successfully it has been created. Okay, so this is how you can capture the responses using Power Automate, Microsoft Forms responses into SharePoint list using Power Automate. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Hello, in this lesson let's see how we can share our flow. Okay, so if you go to my flows here, you can see here all the flows which are available here. Okay, suppose we have a flow here, and this flow actually is moving the files to a different folder. Okay, so in the last lesson we have seen how successfully it ran. Okay, now let's see how we can share this with other users. Okay, so many times you must not run these flows with your personal accounts, or personal means like with your username in the companies. Suppose if you left the company, it will be a problem for them, so it must always suggested to use a shared user for this. Okay, so if a shared account is not created for you, so you can share this with other users. Here if you can see here, share is there. Okay, if you click share, at present it is having only I am as owner. I can now share this with other users also who are available. Here if I click OK, and you can see here it is adding the other user as a owner here, as a co-owner here. Okay, like this you can use this section to add a user or group as owner. Group means like SharePoint groups. Okay, now what if this is actually in this environment SPT 2022. What if I have another environment I want to actually export this? Okay, so here if you can see here export option, and here if you click export package zip, so once you export here the zip file, you can import the same thing in another environment. Here you can mention like move to different folder. Okay, environment you can mention spt 2022. Description you can write it's like version 1.0, and here you can see many things: review, package, content, everything will be there. And here approvals, connections, everything will be there, and the name, SharePoint connection selected during import while they are importing, so that we can give them an option so that for which name they can import this particular flow package. I'm now exporting this. Here you can see I'm exporting, and it's already downloaded a file with the name move to different folder zip file. Okay, so your package is now downloading. If downloading doesn't start, automatically click here. Okay, or else we can also click here, download. Now let's go to our download folder here, and I can see here a zip file. Okay, so let me unzip it. So let's see what are the contents available in this. You can see here two files are there. One folder is there, manifest.json and microsoft.flow. And if I click microsoft.flow, you can see here again the manifest.json, and if I click here again, you see all the definition, API, connection map, all these things. Okay, so now let's import this package into another environment. Let's check I have any other environment here. Let me go to office.com, and let me sign into another environment here which is already available, or let's go here and check uh, one more environment here. Okay, now I'm opening another environment. This environment name is 1 tidbit. So let's go to the flow here for automate, and let's do this setup. So now keep side by side everything. It's taking some time. This environment name is spt 2022. Let's see this environment name, how it will come. So now if I go to my flows, you can see this environment is 1 tidbit. Okay, so now what I will do is we have exported the package from the spt 2022, and I downloaded it. Now let's import that package into this 1 tidbit environment here. I'm going to my flows here, and here we have an option to import here. Okay, let's click import and see this environments. This environment is different, this environment is different here. So let's lay little bit more, and it's asking to upload. I'm uploading now. So from the downloads we have an zip file here. Let's add it here, and it's uploading here. Uploading your package, don't navigate away. Okay, so here we need to select some connections here. Okay, so start an approval for new file to move it to different folder, resource type flow, import setup, update. Update means the package creator. You can give the package creator, choose this setup, or you can create the new one here. If you want new one, create a new one. Okay, and start an approval for new file to move to different folder. Save it, and this mark means it's nice to go. Here approvals, connections we need to create now. Here there is one more approvals here which I can select and save, and here the person name is Alex, and here I can give here the my name here Bharat Chennu, and I can save, and everything is now good. I'm clicking import now. So it's actually importing the package from the different environment now. Actually in the first environment we exported the flow. Here we are just importing and giving some connections again. This is very simple here, and you can see all in green marks and everything is fine. Click open flow here. This you must do, open flow, or else you will miss your flow. This is the flow now. Okay, it's came with everything what I have created in different environments. You just need to change the site address here because it is different environment. You just change the username and the site name. Okay, this is how you can share a flow, or you can import export the flows to different environments. In this lesson, let's see how we can create a child and parent flow. Okay, for that, if you see here on the left side, you can see solutions here. Okay, according to Microsoft, a child flow is the flow that is nested inside the parent flow and contains the smaller tasks you want to run. Okay, and a parent flow is a flow can have any type of trigger and will call into the child flow. Okay, so for this, let's go to solutions here and click new solution, and displaying your more options will be seen here in the publisher. You can type default publisher here, and you can type here the list solution. Click newly create solution. The name here you can mention like my new solution. Okay, now click create. So here our solution will appear here, and enter into the new solution here. And after entering the new solution, first we will create the child flow. Okay, so click new and go to here cloud flow. Okay, so now let's add a manually trigger a flow, and here we can write here respond to a power app or flow here. Next step, respond to a power app or flow. Okay, here the response you can keep like response success. Okay, so and save this as a child flow. Okay, so click save now, and now I created this is a child flow. Now we need to create the flow in the same solution and name it as a parent flow. Go to the solutions again. Wait, let it can save. It is saving now, taking some time, and now it's saved. And let's go to the solutions, and again into the solutions, let's go to our solution, my solution, my new solution. Again we can see the child flow here. Again go new, click new, and click cloud flow. Now we need to create a flow in the same solution and name it as parent flow here. And from the parent flow now, let's try to the same flow where we will call child flow here in the actions. Now we can notice, let's see where we can see any child flow here. Yes, whatever we have created the child flow, it is coming here now. Okay, it means it will work. So now do one thing, go to the triggers here, and here let's manually trigger a flow. So in the manually trigger a flow, or not take a response. We can run this or whatever we want here. uh, New step, and here run a child flow. Let's see whether our child flow is there. Okay, so child flow, select a flow. So we have created already a child flow. It will show the one child flow, and the new step will get the response from the child flow. So using the compose, in the inputs I will give the run a child flow here response, and click save the parent flow, and let's run this parent flow once and see what is the output we are getting. Test it manually. Test, run flow, and it will run the child flow and we will get the response as success. Done. And this child flow ran, which is inside of the parent flow, and it is giving the output status response success, and we captured in the compose, and you can see the success. This is how we can create the child flows and parent flows in the new solutions. Okay. Hello everyone. In this video, let's see how to call Power Automate from Power Apps. Okay, for that, go to Power Apps first, click Create, and create a Canvas app from blank, and here name it as call PA, Power Automate. Okay, so create. So it's loading Power Apps Studio now, and it will take some time to load all the components. So basically this Power Automate and Power Apps belongs to Power Platform. Microsoft has created. So apart from this, Power Virtual Agents and Power BI are also the part of Power Platform. Okay, now so the app opened, skip here and create two fields here, so that we can pass those two fields values to Power Automate. Click insert, your name, text box, text input, and again one more label here, with roll number. Okay, and give a text box, text input, and now click button. So this button will invoke Power Automate. Previously Power Automate is known as MS Flows. Okay, so now let's see how to invoke this. Okay, so here you on select property of the button. Generally there will be false or true, but we can also write an action here on the top. Okay, action, and here we can add the flows using Power Automate. Okay, click this Power Automate, and here it is asking to create a new flow or else select the already available flows. Okay, but I want to create a new flow here. Create new flow, and it will take to the Power Automate portal, and here let's create the new flow. Create, and since we are creating the flow for the Power Apps, so create from the scratch. So here we have a trigger Power Apps. Okay, so let's click this Power Apps, and in the new step, so what shall we give is like we need to send, or we need to get the parameters from the Power Apps. Okay, so for that, uh, let's create a variable or something like that. Compose, you can take compose data operation and inputs. So this input will come from Power Automate, sorry, Power Apps. Okay, so go to here, and here you can see ask in Power Apps, right? Click this. Okay, compose outputs, and you can rename this if you want, or else we can do one thing. First rename this as student name. Okay, and again you take a new step, will give compose, and rename it as roll number. Okay, and inputs we will get from the Power Apps. Okay, so ask in Power Apps. Okay, now let's save here, and let's go to uh, Power Apps and check. So flows associated with button 1. Okay, this is the button 1, and what is the Power App student name, roll number? This is the Power Automate and the flow we have created. So now these two values, student name and roll number, must come from Power Apps, right? So select here the flow and add it to this form. Now it's adding this flow to the Power Apps form, and here it's giving us the run function here, and our run function is accepting two parameters now. First one is compose inputs, means name, and the next one is roll number. Okay, so now the in the first parameter, let's give the name text box. So the name of the first text box is text input 1 dot text. Okay, so the second one is roll number, text input 2 dot text. Okay, now let's see, let's implement this or play this, and let's see these two inputs will uh, go to Power Automate or not. Okay, save this. So now let's preview this app and give the values in the text boxes. Those values must be come into the Power Automate now. Okay, preview the name, let's give Vishnu, roll number is 999. Okay, now click invoke Power Automate. Just invoke the Power Automate now, and let's go to the Power Automate and go to the workflow history for this flow. Okay, my flows, and go to the workflow history, and you can see succeeded here, and click this, and you can see here the student name Vishnu we got. Okay, this came from the Power Apps, and the roll number 9999. So these parameters are coming from Power Apps. Okay, so now we came to know that while we can invoke Power Automate from Power Apps, and we can pass the parameters from Power Apps to Power Automate. Now let's do the reverse way. So send some values from Power Automate to Power Apps. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. Let's go to my flows and edit the flow. Select the flow and click edit on the top. So now here in the new step, first decide what you want to send to Power Apps from Power Automate. So for that, you take a compose data operation and write here something whatever you want, like this value from PA means Power Automate. Okay, I'm giving this input. So here we can rename this as from PA. It means this outputs are from the PA. Okay, now let's click the new step and go to the Power Apps actions. Okay, Power Apps actions, and here we have only one action from the Power App, respond to a Power App or flow. Okay, select that, and here it's asking to add an output. Okay, so we select text here, and it is asking the title. You can give like same from underscore PA. Okay, enter the value to respond. So this value will come from the from PA. Okay, outputs from PA outputs. Okay, click save now, and now uh, the challenging thing is to get this value in the Power Apps. Okay, so go to Power Apps, and to get the value, so the value will send from Power Automate to Power Apps now. So store that value in a label now. Okay, so for that, insert a label here. So keep this label here. So now it will be very tricky here. So the text value must be similar to similar thing like this. So now what shall we do is like copy this invoke complete expression and give here first, and let's check anything available from the Power Automate here. Here we are. So let's go to here action and Power Automate. Select this Power Automate. Here it's edit. If I click again, nothing is happening here. So let's check here. Dot, nothing is coming here, and edit. We will go here. So let's save this. and let's test once here what will happen manually or automatically the recent trigger succeeded. Okay, click test and your flow ran successfully. Here your respond to the execution of template respond for is skipped. The client application is not waiting for a response from service. Okay, that's okay. So now let's see the value will appear here or not. It's not coming here. Let's add here one more time. Nothing is coming here. Or what shall we do is let's add this power app one more time. Okay, once it is added here, we already know that text text input dot text comma text input dot text. Okay, and give here dot, and you will get this variable from underscore pa. This is what here actually we have given here, add an output. Okay, this one from underscore pa, so this will activate here. Okay, so copy this complete one and use this value as a variable here in this um, label. So we can make it as say something like in the global variable or local variable. Okay, so let's do it. Set, we already know set means check set anything is happening or not. Nothing is happening here, so here invoke, this invoke itself, let's see whether we can write something here or below here this. Okay, set and write this, name a variable here. Here I am writing pa, name of the variable pa, where pa or automate variable. Okay, comma, I will give this complete thing, control C, as a value. Here if you see set of variable comma value. Okay, here we need to give the value dot from underscore pa and close the bracket now. Okay, now let's see how it will work. Okay, preview it and let's send this value again, invoke pa, and we need to give assign that variable. So let's see whether this variable value is coming or not. First variables, global variable, and you got the value, this value from pa. Okay, now assign this global variable to this particular, say, label. Okay, so where is the label? Okay, so this label. Okay, so here in the text you can give from, variable name is where pa. Okay, so you can see the output here. Okay, now let's save this power app and preview it and give new variables new values here, and invoke, and you can see already this is coming from the Power Automate. Okay, so you can go here and go to my flows, and you can go to workflow history, and it's done successfully, and it's giving values student name Krishna and 1111, and from PA this value from PA respond, it's everything is working fine now. Okay, this is how you can call Power Automate from Power Apps. Okay, and also you can pass variables vice versa. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my